Hey guys, coming to you from Grants Pass, Oregon. I'm here in the single wide mother-in-law house that I am staying in. I'm on the property of my sister and my brother-in-law Jerry, my sister Kate, and Kate is undergoing treatment right now for esophageal cancer. And she seems to be doing pretty well, but she's smack dab right in the middle of the treatment. This all was pretty sudden. She got diagnosed. They got her right into treatment and she's getting today off, and then she's right back into chemotherapy and radiation and the whole deal. So she really doesn't feel like having company, but they have this little backspace here, and so I said, I'm coming up. I figure I'm going to be here, and my mother is now 92, and she lives here. And my brother Kevin also lived here. We're not from here. They all moved up here, kind of following Kate and Jerry when they moved up right around the time of the financial boom, right before the bust, the sort of bubble. I don't mean to say boom, more bubble. They managed to sell their house and they managed to get rid of their business, which was basically going out of business, and move up here and buy 2.5 acres and free and clear. And so not too long after that, my younger sister, who's a bookkeeper, came up here, and she could bring her business because she does most of her business online. She moved up here and made a life for herself. And then that's my sister Susie. And then my brother Kevin, my older brother, he also moved up. Kevin passed away a couple of years ago. And then my mother got to the place where she couldn't care for herself anymore, and they brought her up here. So although I'm from down there, all my family is up here, except for my younger brother Chris is still down in the Los Angeles area. So, but most of my family is up here. So I drove the van 750 miles up here, and mostly in rain. If you're in LA, you probably caught the rainstorm that was on the way to you, and I got it on I-5. Most of the length of California, it was raining. Nothing particularly terrifying, just driving in the rain is all. Everything went great. It was an easy drive. I stayed overnight at the Walmart motel there in Red Bluff. I can sleep in the van. It's got a bed and portable toilet and everything in it. I'm self-contained as much as you can be in a safari van. But anyway, I got up here, and then almost immediately I got a cold. So I really can't be around Kate because she's going through these treatments and her immune system is iffy. I really can't be around her. And I can't be around my mother because she's 92 years old and she lives around a bunch of other 90-year-old people, and I can't transmit any illness there. So I end up, after driving 750 miles, to essentially have Christmas alone. So, what are you going to do, man? Life is weird. But I know that there's a lot of you out there who have experienced the same thing. I run into people who know me from the channel, and they're surprisingly mostly young guys. And at least more than I thought I would run into. I figured it was guys my age mostly. And it's 80% men on YouTube. YouTube is a male domain. It's not like Facebook or Instagram, which are largely female places as well as male. But what was I going to say? So I just thought I'd reach out to you a little bit because I know a lot of you guys might be alone as well. I'm hip to this thing, the MGTOW movement that's happening. I'm only hip to it because people write to me constantly and says, "Dude, you need to go MGTOW." Especially when I was doing my series about feminism, and as you know, I'm a pretty strong opponent of what feminism has become. I'm all for female rights, but I don't think women should be attempting to get into the same rat race trap that men have been trapped in for all these years. I don't think that they should be out proving to themselves that men are nothing particularly special because jobs are mostly drudgery. I mean, at one time, a man could come home and after having done mysterious work out in the world all day, and he was somewhat of a hero in the family. And his wife was a precious helpmate for him, as well as his confidant and the person who was giving him a home. I mean, a homemaker somehow became that became an insult to call somebody a homemaker. If somebody can make a home for children, herself, and a good man, oh my God, is there any more important job on the planet? So all that got thrown away. Mostly, it's the root of all of our problems, really, that the family has broken up so much. It's really the root of almost every problem we have. And I lay that down mostly to the misinterpretation of the male-female dance as sold to us by feminists of the current variety. I mean, anywhere from the 70s on. I don't go into the second wave, third wave, fourth wave, all that bullshit. That's all second wave feminism to me. The women who fought to have voting rights and fought to, just have basic human rights, property rights, and things like that. Those were the real feminists. These other people are just fussy people who are materialistic and trying to get it, and they're power hungry for the most part, and they just want to get out there in the world. I don't mean that all women who work are, but women who are, feminist. I've gotten on a real rant I didn't mean to go to. Sorry about that, guys. But anyway, I know about MGTOW because people during that period of time, people kept writing to me, man, you need to go MGTOW. Well, I don't think that either. I think what we need to do, all men, all humans, we need to have extended family. We need to have people in our lives that care about us. And ideally that is a woman who really has your back and you really have her back, and you form a unit that in any situation, the two of you can walk in the other room, put your heads together, discuss what's happening, and figure it out, the two of you together. This is optimal for human beings, I think. And I am not a supporter of the MGTOW movement. Nothing against any of you guys that are. I understand your dissatisfaction with the way this feminism thing is played out. But don't blame every woman for that. Most women want a good man. And so I dig the thing that a lot of you guys are doing. If you're a MGTOW guy listening to this, the self-mastery, the learning things. Yeah, 100%. I'm going to do a long video about MGTOW and what I think about it and the pros and cons. But right now I'm just reaching out to guys who, like me, happen to be alone in life, live by themselves. I've lived by myself for most of my life. I lived with my wife and kids for 15 years, and I lived with my parents for 18 years. And all the rest of my years, I've lived alone. And I have gotten into some very, very unhealthy places about that. So here I am. I'm all alone for Christmas. I'm going to see my sister Susie later if it seems my cold has passed enough. When I first got it, I was doing the coldies as much as possible, and that generally causes a cold to pass you by if you do it right. So I might be okay, but I'm going to have to be standoffish with everybody, Hey, Mom, fist bump. So I'm alone at Christmas time, and a lot of you guys are alone at Christmas time, so I want to talk about that just for a minute, and then maybe I'll grab my guitar and unadvisedly attempt to sing with a cold at 7 in the morning. Do whatever it takes. Get out of the house. Go somewhere. Find some place where people are wandering around. Go to a coffee house, whatever. Say Merry Christmas to 10 people. Do something. Get out there. Your time will come, but you have to understand that life has its phases, and don't judge who you are and how your value is based on one phase you happen to be in at any given time, and saying, oh, this is my life, I will die alone. Well, if you start adopting that attitude, you'll start assuming this sort of doominess that won't be attractive. It won't send the right signals. You have to be, and one of the things the MGTOW guys get right is work on yourself. Get out there, get in shape, master your trade, master your craft, master your hobby, whatever it is, get into a sense of that getting things, we guitar players say, I got that under my fingers, meaning you've learned a song properly or learned a riff or something like that. I've got it under my fingers now. You need to get life under your fingers. So it's, so you feel strong and you feel competent. And when you project an air of competence, women pick that up like a radio signal. They pick up competence because way back in the shrouded mists of time, when life was harsh and there were dangerous animals and warring tribes everywhere, and making the wrong move got you killed, being with a competent man was the whole game for a woman. That's how a woman survived, to be with a competent man who's also a good man. So do these things. Be a good man. Be a competent man. Know what you believe. Try to check out as much as you can from this current political war for most of the time. And don't put walls around you that say, unless you believe with what I believe ideologically or religiously or, whatever philosophy you've latched onto that's given you some brotherhood and some kinship with people. Don't let that be so rigid that it excludes other people who might not yet have made those realizations in their lives, or maybe never quite will, but might be somebody important to you. Gather people around you at Christmas time as much as you can, but always, so that you don't end up at Christmas time with nowhere to go. I'm in a special case right now. I have plenty of places to go. I just drove 750 miles away from all those places, caught a cold, in order to visit people who cannot catch a cold, who must not catch a cold. And so, I just stepped into a wrinkle in reality that left me alone this Christmas. But I try very hard not to be disconnected and not to be isolated, to always make sure I go out a few times a week, to always make sure that there are friendships that I maintain. And I'm sort of doing some backtracking because after being involved in this sort of socio-political cultural war that I've been involved in for several years, there are some people I've alienated, to be frank. And there are some people who have alienated me, and there's some friendships that I'm in the process of patching back together because they're good people who just don't see the world as I do. And I'm better for having them in my life and having disagreement than having them expelled from my life and having only people in my life with whom I have a specific agreement about politics or philosophy. That doesn't make a full life. It really doesn't. So if any of you are lonely on this Christmas, know that there are people out there who will be thrilled to have your company. Just be courageous enough to get out of the house. Whatever it is that you may have a hobby. For me, it's I play guitar and I go sing. So everywhere I go, I can find some. I found myself sitting in the drizzling rain in Grants Pass, looking into a music store which was closed yesterday, going, my people are in there. If it was just open, I'd go in and pick up a guitar and I'd be in a conversation with somebody. Your interests will take you toward your people. Think about meetup groups. Think about, if you're a car enthusiast, find other car guys. If you like model trains, find those guys. And it'll pull you into an extended family, and that extended family will have people attached to it, and you'll meet people that share your interests, that are powerful enough to then override any need in you that they agree with you about Donald Trump. Let yourself be drawn into groups of people. Don't resist it. Don't be too proud to do that. Don't be too proud to need other people. Because in fact, you do, and as do I. So I'm going to wish you a very Merry Christmas. I'm hoping I can patch together some kind of video out of this rambling mess that I've just laid down, and I'll see you guys soon. So it's like 7:30 in the morning, and I have a cold, but I'm going to try to sing this song anyway. very ill-advised attempt to sing a Christmas song. I tuned this down a half step to give myself at least a fighting chance of it. Bells will be ringing, the sad, sad news of Christmas, to have the blues. My baby's gone, I have no friends to wish me greeting once again. Choirs will be singing, holy night, Christmas carols by candlelight. Come home for Christmas, come home for Christmas. If not for Christmas, New Year's night. Friends and relations send salutations, as sure as the stars shine up above. But this is Christmas, oh Christmas, my dear. It's the time to be with the ones you love. So won't you tell me you no longer will roam? Christmas and New Year's too will find you home. There'll be no more sorrow, no grief and pain, and we'll be happy Christmas once again. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.